Hi, this is Jack Canfield with another success resource. And I'm sitting here today with someone who really is a success resource, Peri Shawn, the author of Sell More with Sales Coaching. And she helps people, salespeople, sell more, sell better, sell sooner, and sell more often. I love that. That's really good. I think every salesperson wants to do that. So sales has changed a lot. Over the last few years, we've added a new technology. People are more sophisticated. There's the internet. They can check things out more than ever before. Talk to me about your thoughts on all these changes and how things are different now.
It has changed the way people buy, and it has changed the way people actually, for salespeople, how they sell as a result. And so, for example, when I go and speak to audiences these days, I ask the question, think about, and maybe you can think about one that you have, think about when you've recently purchased something with the help of a salesperson. Okay, got it? Have you got something in mind?
Gosh, I haven't. I've been buying everything on Amazon.com so much.
Shh, we won't tell anybody that. All right. So I'll share with what happens.
Sure,
so what happens is when I ask the audience and they pick that one thing, and then I say, okay, so where were you in your buying decision when you actually spoke to the salesperson? Did you have 25% of your decision made, 50%, 75%, or 100% of your decision made? 80% of the audiences say they had 75% of their decision made before they actually speak to the salesperson.
It's true. When you were talking, I could think back. I went to Nordstrom's recently, and I bought actually a shirt very much similar to the one I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And I had picked it out, and I was looking for a salesperson at that point.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you picked out what you wanted, and you knew already. So part of what's happening is salespeople are used to what happened, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, where the person was often only at 25% or even 0. But now people are so far along in their decision-making process that it changes the way a salesperson interacts with an individual. It's about finding out where they are in their buying decision and meeting them in that place.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so it's very different.
I never would have thought of that, but it makes total sense because it is the way I research things now before I ever talk to a salesperson.
Exactly. Most people do that too.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah. So you say there's a science behind sales. In fact, one of your talks is about sales science, the science.
Yes, exactly.
So what is that? Talk about what is this sales science?
The sales science is that when we look at all the neuroscience that's going on and what happens to someone and what goes on inside their brain when they buy, is that it's not just the logical part of the brain that's being activated, it's the emotional part of the brain too. And that we actually buy on emotion justified by logic. So we make the emotional decision often first, and then we look for logical pieces of information to support that. So when a salesperson is actually speaking with someone, part of it is to really ask those questions to emotionally engage the prospect client, and then to ensure that you share information so that they can back up their decision. So the decision to buy is actually made inside their brain, and it's not something that you're convincing them to do something. You're meeting them where they are and bringing them forward with both emotion and logic.
Can you give me an example of a question that would evoke the emotion?
For example, if I'm speaking with a client, I might say, oh, so how does that impact what's going on in your world? And they'll say, oh, well, this, I'm working extra long hours, and I'm doing this, and my team's driving me crazy, and da-da-da-da-da-da. And as they're talking about it, and as I ask more questions about it, they're becoming more connected to the emotion behind what they're looking for and what they're searching for. And then when I supply the information that's helpful to them via story format, because that's what engages the brain the most. If you're sharing a story with me as a salesperson, you're actually activating the same places in my brain as are in yours when you're telling the story. And so therefore you can, as long as you make sure the story is relevant to the client, it's a client story of someone else you've helped with a similar situation, you actually help them visualize and see that you can assist them with the.
I've always naturally done that, and
Yes.
with Chicken Soup for the Soul, I'm big on stories. But I know now there's neuroscience that you have that backs this up.
Exactly.
There's actually brain science that we now can, like some of our intuitive thoughts, we now can say, hey, there is a science, and this is the way you need to do it.
Exactly, and we can do it by design instead of default. Because we do this naturally, but we don't realize the reason why it's working.
Yeah, becomes more intentional. Yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So if someone wants to get a hold of your book or you,
Yes.
how do they do that?
Coachingandsalesinstitute.com is where you can get a hold of me. And the book is available in bookstores, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles, etc.
Coaching and Sales?
Sales Institute.
Institute.com. Okay, very good. So, sell more with sales coaching. I love it. Let's sell more. Let's sell more often. Let's sell better. So if you're in sales, and the funny thing is we're all in sales.
Exactly.
I mean, I have to sell my kid to go to bed on time, those kind of things. Sell my wife to go to see this movie instead of that movie, etc.
Yeah.
So we all need this. So basically, I encourage you. This woman, I've talked to her a lot today before we ever came on camera, and I'm very impressed with what she has to share. So if you want to know more about how to be effective in sales, make sure you go to her website and take advantage of that. So for the rest of you, we'll see you after the break. Stay tuned.